return to the league. Let's see if we can find him. I assume PER would be his...
no, PG, number 9.
PG,
and he's in an Audi. Oh, you're not going to miss that livery in a hurry. Good God.
Beautiful livery, I like that. I'm not usually a big fan of green on cars, but when I use like this light green in combination with some black, I tend to actually love it.
So he's just gone through Luffield, through Woodcote, now heading down to Cops. He's a little bit unsure as to whether he's on an outlap or not. Popsu was top. Now Murphy has just jumped over the top of his board with 2 minutes. 0.962. Van Orman.
So close ahead of Van Orman.
Yeah, wow. And that is, I've forgotten who Fab is. Who's just jumped to the top? It's Fab Iceman. 2 minutes, 0.813 in the Ferrari. With someone just spun it. There's an Audi that was parked out there. Yeah. We just saw. So Van Orman third, Popsy 4, Conor McCoy currently in 5th. There is Vernux. He's actually down 23rd at the moment. So just winding up to figure out where he is. Just coming onto the South End Straight. Is he going to complete his lap? We assume so. He jumps up to 8th position with the 202.1 in the M6.
Indeed, the reigning champion, of course, was changed from the Ferrari to the BMW for this season. Looking to enjoy some variety, I guess.
Getting a little sideways there as he was just coming through Village there. Jardier.
Jardi's back in the pits actually, but he's gone up to 4th on his first effort of the season. Actually, Jardier obviously has 3 wins in a row, but he's only got 1 pole, if I remember correctly. Oh no, actually, no, I think he has 2 poles. But he was meant to have 1 pole if we didn't have to restart.
We didn't have to restart last week. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well remembered there. Well remembered. Looks like most everybody except for Murphy and MTZ. Oh no, MTZ's just come out of the pits. So it's only Murphy is. No, just as I say that, he come out of the pits. All of our drivers, all 32 of them, currently on track, looking to get a time in. We are looking at Alexis. Oh, he's gone really deep into Maggots. That's pretty much been the lead. Look at the amount of opposite lock he's having to put into every single step around Maggots and Beckett's. Now coming through Chapel, he's having to turn the wrong way out every single corner. That is one very, very loose car he's got.
Yeah, it didn't quite look like the most tidy lines through Maze Beckett's, you have to say.
He was probably having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy drifting. I'm not a big drifter. Oh no, it's turning too early for that one. You got a bit on the grass even at the apex. I guess we'll just stay with Alexis till the end and see how good a lap time, a messy lap like this, can get you.
Our pole time has actually changed a few times. Popsy was a pole with a 2 minutes 0.5. Now Van Orman 2 minutes 0.2. So we are heading down. The pole time is coming down and down and down each time. And
Alexis did not get a time actually. What I'm gonna do, let's see what Jardier is. Is he anywhere near the end of the lap? Yes, I believe he is.
That is Chapel. He's just coming onto the hangar straight now, so he's weaving, so he's on an outlap. There's one of our Nissans behind, and there's the Rainbow Lambo in the background. Leo. Again, I've done it again. I've completely forgotten who's who by their abbreviation.
Leon the Sick One.
Leon the Sick One, yes, had a brilliant run. Yes, he was. Really was. He was the only man to really challenge Jardier last time out at the Red Bull Ring in the foggy gloom. Oh, Jardier.
What are you doing here? Just getting out of the way of
getting out of the way of people,
very much trying to look for some clean air to get a new lap air. So what I was thinking is that maybe... Oopsie, that was not what I was thinking. If I can figure out where to get that up and then go on board with the bonnets and we'll do it on board.
So then, heading down towards Abbey. Just going to slight lift off there, keep back on the gas, but he's got to do it right because you will fly off the road quite easily at Abbey. Now, farm curve is flat out. Now, heavy on the brakes for Village. Get the apex, you've got to stay over to the right-hand side because very quickly the loop is then upon you. Very, very slow corner. You can see he's down the first. Heavy on the gas then towards Aintree. Now onto the Wellington Straight where Kimi Räikkönen very famously spun it and almost smacked into that particular bridge there on the right-hand side. Now towards Brooklands, a very, very tricky, quite long left-hander. You've got to take the apex very, very late, which Johnny didn't get a great apex on Brooklands. Now into Luffield, a very long right-hander. Again, there's a few ways of taking Luffield, but it always feels a very clumsy corner. Now Woodcote flat out, get over to the left-hand side for Cops. The old start finish straight is now upon us. Now going to throw it down 2 gears into Cops. Again, very easy to overcook. That green asphalt there is not very grippy, so you will lose a lot of time. That's Possum Perry Gronster that's parked it out there. We just saw it on the entrance of Maggots. Now keep it nice and steady. As we saw earlier on, you can get very, very out of shape. Oh, Leon the sick one, 11 thousandths of a second off the pole time with that 2 minutes .297. Through Chapel and onto the hangar straight under the bridge. Just slowly wander over to the left-hand side for Stowe. Again, fairly quick right-hander is going to be down 3 gears. Oh, the tail did not want to stick. As we have a new pole time. That is Tidney. 2 minutes .265, 1/10 separates the top 3. Now into Vale. Now straight away into the right-hander. Now into Club for the final corner. Just kiss the apex, let it wander over to the left. Where does Jardier fall? It's 6th. Well.
Interesting. We haven't seen him have to really make a lot of overtakes this season. So if he starts around 6th, that should be make for a very interesting race. But as you said, Tidney is the man who has gone up to pole in the Audi, actually.
Yeah.
Which didn't have a great time last time at Red Bull Ring, but it did have a good time at Dubai. So I think it's one of those cars that maybe suits certain tracks quite a bit better than others. But it seems to be back on it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Silverstone's one of these tracks that has decent length straights, but you need to kind of worry about balance more so than you would, for instance, Monza. Monza doesn't need a great deal of cornering efficiency, whereas Silverstone's got a rather mixture of everything. So some drivers are going to go more for a slipperier setup, I imagine, so to fight the cars in the corners but get a greater amount of speed. There is Van Orman. He's currently second by 21 thousandths of a second behind Tidney, and that is one of the yellow Ferraris behind. Not 100% sure who that is kind of behind him. There is Leon the second.
It was not Leon, it was his teammate. Which I think is Zal, actually.
It is.
The only reason I remember Zal, not the only reason, but he's Norwegian, just like a certain person did.
So a bit of a home support there for you there, Fizzy. So, so he's coming through. He's just started his lap, so that's Abbey. Yeah. He's right behind Van Orman. That is not... He could possibly get a bit of slipstream, but... oops, that's one of the M6s facing the wrong way. That could possibly be Andrex. I think that's his coloured M6. No, that's not his coloured M6. I forget, he's in the red and white one. Oh! 2 Ferraris. That's actually Zal. That's Zal and Van Orman in the background.
Oh, there.
That's
the ones who were just watching.
Yeah, as we look away, just trying to identify which...
Where's he gone? Where's he gone?
Cameraman's also lost.
And that's Van Orman going the other way.
Oh dear.
Very
so
interesting.
Was there impact between Van Orman and... Doesn't look like there's damage on the back of Van Orman's Ferrari, but...
It would be quite a coincidence if they just went off at the same time in separate incidents, I would say.
Jardier has improved. He's 4th, but still he's within a 10th. But he's actually 4th.
Though. Look at the times. Look how close it is. That's incredible.
Mr. I'm not going to scream much. Hey, you scream away. It's your throat that's going to struggle. But yeah, look at that. That's 4 drivers within a 10th of a second. That's absolutely stunning. And there's still 2.5 minutes to go, or just under. So there's time then for drivers to... Oh, and again, we saw that with Jardier when we were on board with him. Through Maggots and Beckers, the tail just does not want to stick. So Jardier, I wonder if he's gone for a slipperier setup, exactly as I was mentioning. He's still 4th at the moment, so he is... That's Cops, I believe he's just coming through. I believe he's just coming up to Maggots Becker. I'm not always particularly good. Yeah, he is. Maggots Becker is coming through. So we assume he's halfway through a lap. Is that one of the Nissans ahead of him?
I believe so. It looks like Jardier is really pushing for this. The funny thing is, it doesn't need to improve much to get another pole.
No, absolutely.
So close. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, so it could literally be just one corner, one apex.
Yeah.
Yeah, one just ever so slight hesitation on the throttle. Those sort of things. It is indeed one of the Nissans that's ahead of us. So it's those little details that could be making the difference in our pole time. Now coming towards Vale once again. Nissan is not close enough to cause a particular worry to Jardier on this lap. I would imagine whoever that is probably getting themselves some decent space as well. Here comes Jardier. Does he improve? 2.315 is his time, and it is pole.
Oh.
And again, by the merest of margins, still our top. Oops, and that was one of the Nissans actually facing the wrong way. Not 100% sure who that was.
It must be either Rigor or Nick Meadow, because those are the only Nissans. Both of which are outside the top 20 at the moment, struggling a little bit with that car.
So Jardier is back in the pits, his day is done, and 2 days of pack in 14th. He's decided to hit the pits as well. Their day is done as far as qualifying is concerned. Leon then coming around, I think he's coming around Club, isn't he?
Luffield, isn't it?
Could be Luffield. I tend to get those two wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, that is Luffield. Yeah, because they're both relatively slow right-handers, I tend to get those two mixed up. So
yeah.
That's Woodkit then for Leon. He's got a grand total of...
okay.
That's that one done.
That's not going to work. Yeah, that's him done. Let's see what Popsu's up to. He's been, obviously was unlucky to not get pole last weekend. He's coming across the line now.
Does he
without
improving? Oh, he only just beat the flag there. So he can finish this lap. And again, the tail just kicking out there. Tidney is coming to, I think that's Mac of the Beckett he's heading towards. Yes, it is. Can he regain the pole? Just 28 thousandths of a second he has to find over his previous best. And again, you can see... that's one of the Ferraris going for a bit of a spin. We're seeing a lot of that, surprisingly, in qualifying. We saw a few issues last week, but then in the wet, in the fog, you kind of expect to see it. But
it's Leon again, actually.
Oh, goodness me.
Not long ago as well.
Oh,
he's not doing donuts to celebrate. On the grid.
He's having good fun. Mr. Van Orman has decided to call it a day. He will not improve from third position. Let us see then what Tidney is able to do. He is coming towards Vale once again. Heavy on the brakes, keep the car nice and settled. We're not seeing as much opposite lock in the Audi. No sooner do I say that he flies towards the outside of Club. And does he improve? 2 minutes, .265. Of course.
No, he does not.
No, he remains in second position. Of course, their time disappears on the board on the left, but their position marker in the centre at the top remains correct. And again, you saw Popsu. He's having to drift the tail. You look at where the wheels are pointing; they're not. It's not the direction the nose is going in. He's having to turn into against every single turn he's having to make. And we're seeing this quite a lot. So, I wonder if a lot of people are going for. Oh, someone's actually gone ahead of Popsu because he's just been demoted to second. Unfortunately, we have no idea who it is. So, there's a big old drift then for Popsu. He's probably just grinning his head off. As you can see, I think Popsu is the only man on track. Oh, my goodness me. Popsu, he's having a... Well, I'm assuming he's enjoying it. It looks great from our perspective, but I'd be rather surprised if he improves.
I don't think he wouldn't have gone to the line like that if he was on a better lap.
And that is everybody. I believe everybody is back in the pits, so Popsu was the last one across the line. Another pole then for our championship leader, Jardier. 2 minutes, .237, but the top four within a tenth. So yet again, a very tight top of the grid.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's the closest qualifying by far, I think, so this season. It's not often you see 4 drivers separated by 600ths of a second. I mean, in the midfield maybe it's quite often, but not at the front of the grid, definitely not. And Jardier gets away with it again. He's third pole of the season. Tidney second place in the championship, also second place on the grid. And Van Orman, after missing last week, he comes back with a bang to start third.
It's an ACR domination once again. There's 3 of their drivers in the top 4. Fab Iceman in 5th. Popsu 6th, Murphy in the Ginetta in 7th, Vernox 8th, Mark Buensi, the lead Lambo. We haven't seen a great deal of him, but that's a fair effort. Still within a second. And it was Yorkie that round out the top 10. What I didn't actually look to see was who was stuck in the timing back. Because we had somebody join us, and we're actually back down to 31 drivers. So if somebody did join us late, we didn't get to see who it was. There was so much going on with people spinning and drifting. I completely forgot to look.
Yeah, but we'll soon see once these guys start moving off the grid. Obviously, they have a bit of time now to get set and ready for the manual rolling start that they will be embarking on shortly. So the order you see on the left of the screen obviously is the correct qualifying order before whoever is on the timing glitch will drop to the bottom. So just try to remember it.
So as our guys have just a few more moments. So I've just been informed of who it is that we've lost. It's Doc we've lost. As unfortunately he alt-tabbed out. When he alt-tabbed back in, his game decided to bin him out. So that is a shame. We'll not be seeing. He's not had a great. Him and his teammate Domino were promoted from the Pro League from last season. They haven't had the best of runs, unfortunately, since doing so. But we hope that his luck improves as the season continues. There is MTZ. I believe he's in the back of the field in the Audi. There he is. That's what it looks
starting
like.
around the corner.
Yeah, having to start on the bend. There's our one and only Porsche. There's, oh no, hang on a minute. Texas Wheeler is normally in the Porsche, but that's Mickisby that's in 30th. No,
we've been the Porsche. Yeah, interesting.
So do have 2 Porsches.
Might be teammates. Yeah, there are teammates actually, I believe. I think they're both Finnish.
Fair enough. That helps with.
I have to say, the Lamborghinis have surprised me here. He got Mark Buenz, as you mentioned, in 9th, and then just outside the top 10 as well, Rick in 11th there.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember who the third Lambo was, but those two have done a very impressive qualifying.
Yeah, unfortunately the camera's moving around that much. I can't focus on who it is. They are around about. That's Texas Wheel. Yeah, so that is Oblator that's in the next Lambo. So away they go then. The field leads away. Well, the field is led away by Jardier. For those unfamiliar with this particular setup, it's a manual rolling start. Jardier, our poleman, will lead the field away at 120 kilometers an hour. Nearest them at 80 miles an hour. Until they get to the beginning of the 3rd sector, which I believe the formation point is around about Stowe somewhere.
Yes, just before.
And what happens there is they will reform the 2x2 line. The speed is reduced to 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. And when the field then reaches the start-finish line, it is up to Jardier as to when he floors it, and that signifies the beginning of the race. A lot of people throwing
a lovely shot this, yeah. Everyone waving about, trying to keep some temperature in the tires and everything else. It's I love these formation lap shots. It's just beautiful with all the different GT3 cars and the different color liveries and everything.
It is only one person stuck in the timing bug. It's Alexis.
Ah, okay. Well,
so where is he'll be 31st on your list. Where is he currently? He is. I believe that is Rick.
Down, yeah, I think he's behind Oblit, or 2 positions behind Oblit, so he's be 25th, I believe.
Is that Rick or Oblator that he's behind? Obviously, they're in the same colour as Lambo. No, it's Rick, because that's Perry Gronster right with
it. Because he's further up the field.
Yeah. So Alexis will be starting in. That makes him 12th. In which case, in between. So those again unfamiliar with the timing bug. Unfortunately, those that join the qualifying session after it's begun, they get stuck in the timing bug that sticks them at the bottom of the field. If I scroll down the bottom of the list on the stream, you can see Alexis is listed as 31st on last, but as you can quite clearly see where we're reviewing him, he is around about 12th, and that sadly is where he will. His time will remain at the bottom of the field, but he will. The drivers see where he is correctly positioned. We will just have to work out where he is by those around him. And the 2x2 lines have been formed. That was actually just after Chapel, so it was a little bit earlier than I had originally thought. So now the 2x2 lines are reformed, and they will continue at this pace until they get to the start-finish line, at which Jardier will then begin the race good and proper. Love that camera angle, as you can just see the blurred image of those slightly further down the field coming through the shot, then now coming down to Vale, and it's such a tense moments at this point.
The question is, can anyone beat Jardier? That's the question everyone will be asking. He's won 3 in a row. Can he make it 4?
Can he make it 4? Absolutely, but he hasn't got a massive lead points wise. We're not in the halfway stage in the season yet, so we will see if he is able to do anything about it. Or if anyone is able to do anything about it, I should say. So 1st and 3rd for the Tiger Colour Ferraris, and Jardier, I think he's floored it. Yes, he has. Oh, that Audi has not had a great run. It looks like Tidney It's really under defense. He's in the middle of a 3 wide. Oh, big trouble!
No!
Massive trouble for Tidgney. And oh my goodness me, that's Popsu jumping over the corner to avoid the incident. Oh my goodness me.
Leon, who had an incident with Tidgney as well.
Yes.
So Van Norman has lost out a bit as well. He's down to 5th from 3rd. So all kinds of drama there behind Jardier. And of course for Jardier, that is the perfect scenario for him. He's already got a 2.5 second lead.
Wow, yeah, he is away. Oh, and that's our sole Ginetta.
Oh my goodness.
Good save there. Who's running the Ginetta? I forgot. Oh, it's Murphy, of course. He's the only Ginetta. And oh, there's a Ferrari running slowly. Who was this? Van Orman. Van Orman. Oh my goodness me! People flying off everywhere. Oh, is that Popsu that's facing the wrong way? I think
it's his teammate.
That was Tapek, the other blue Ferrari. He's down to 20th. Disastrous start for the blue Ferrari. Is the one of the green Z4s you can see just behind him. That's Tex Wheeler in one of the 2 Porsches as well as Mr. Iceberg, trying to pick his way through the debris essentially. Feel very, very close to the comparisons, you might imagine. Oh, I thought there was damage on the front of that Z4 for a minute. That's just the way the livery looks. Wow, what an intense start to the race. We've still got people flying off the road.
Crazy. I mean, it's the first real huge start incident we've had this season. And it certainly was a big one. Obviously, Leon and Tidgney massively affected by that. Let's see where they have ended up, actually. Tidgney is down in 9th.
9th, yeah. Leon is 15th.
15th. So, yeah, that's going to hurt their evening quite a lot.
Popsy was already breaking free. Alfab Iceman, they've had a pretty good start. Murphy up to 4th. He'll be quite enjoying that. Rick in the Lambos up to 6th. He's had a belting start.
Wow.
He was 11th or 12th, I believe, in that kind of recent days.
Oh, and the other Lambo having some side-by-side through the front 3 corners here with the Audi of 2 Desert Pack. Battling for 10th position, being forced slightly off the track there. And there's an Audi also of Tidgney trying to come back through. Sorry, that's not Tidgney, that's Nesterovic, his new teammate. There's another Ferrari off again. That might be Leon once again.
Leon, yeah. Wow.
It's all kind of craziness going on.
Oh, and you can see Nesterovic is involved in that particular battle as well. There he is in 11th. He's got Yorkie right with him in 6th. There is Yorkie trying an outside move onto Desert Pack as they now come through Village and the Loop. So Yorkie trying to make up some time as well. Oh, and there you see, I think that's Leon again trying to regain some of that lost time. A lot of battling going on further down the field. And Jardier is just gone. His lead is 4 seconds now. But Popsu has already got himself a seconds lead over Fab Iceman. Fab Iceman is got some company from Murphy as well on the top 3. But yeah, a lot of battling going on. This is Rick in 6th position. Our champion Vernox directly ahead. That's Murphy just going out the shot. And that's actually Sal in the 2nd Tiger Colour Ferrari, putting a lot of pressure on Rick to try and climb up the field as they now come through Magnus and Beckett.
Yes, indeed. Zal looking for his best, not his best finish of season. Actually, he did like silently have a really good race last week, which I think people might have forgotten about. He finished 4th with Zal at the Red Bull Ring.
Great effort.
Which I had even forgotten about, and he's looking for another strong result here. Rick definitely looking for another personal best result. He finished 5th a couple of races ago, and Vernox, of course, we know what he can do from having seen last season.
Absolutely.
Getting put under pressure though from the Lamborghini going into the final complex of the circuit, and he looks like he will be able to defend a little bit deep there for the Ferrari behind, but at least no further incidents.
So far. Yeah, long way to go though. There's not even 10 minutes gone in this race, and yeah, good to see a few disgruntled drivers after some of the actions going on. Yorkie now shaping a move onto Desertback once again, heading towards Cops, and very nicely, cleanly done. But to Desert Pack trying to get a comeback on the BMW. Oh, don't go 3 wide into Magus. I can only go disastrously wrong. Believe me, I know. I tried a 3 wide move before, and it didn't go well for me. I didn't do it there, admittedly. Oh, look at that. Oh, beg your pardon. That's wrong part of the track. That was actually Abbey Farm and Village. They've just gone through, and it's all well and good at the moment. Keep it on the track there, Leon. And of course Typek getting involved in this particular battle as well, as they now come down towards Brooklands. And there again, the yellow Ferrari having a look on the inside of the Audi. Oh,
they lost
He's held it, but that's going to lose him some momentum. That's going to give Yorkie an opportunity to try and get some distance away. But unfortunately, they then came into the braking zone of Luffield. Oops, don't run too wide there. That's going to potentially earn you a penalty. Leon then. And look how defensive. And there we go.
That is the penalty. See, that's the backsliding now.
Oh, so did Leon.
Leon as well, so flying through was Tapek, who gets 2 positions without any effort whatsoever.
I'm sure he'd be quite happy with that. There's Andrex in the red and white M6, closing in on this particular squabble as well. He himself admits he's not a great qualifier, but he is one for keeping things consistent and picking off people when they make mistakes. So here's Rick again, keeping the pressure on Vernas. He can't entirely ignore Zal that is directly behind him, but it does look like that Lambo is really keeping the pressure on Vernax more than he's having to defend from Zal. And again, we saw this on previous laps where Zal doesn't seem to get quite as decent an exit from Stowe as Rick and Vernax do. It's just losing a little bit of momentum at this point, and Rick now really concentrating on that M6 now coming across the line again. He's not going to be able to do much at Abbey unless he really throws it into the corner, which would be rather dangerous. In the background of the shot, we saw Titney, who's had a pretty disastrous result with Boensi and Vernax. No, not Vernax. Who's 10th? I've forgotten who. Nesterovic, yes.
It's not very helpful when they have the team abbreviation as their letters there, but you know.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, there's Titney leading that particular chain to throw. Oh, look at that. Rick's had a pretty bad run, actually, through Village and the loop and entry. He's really able to defend from Zal. The Lambo going very, very defensive. Coming into Brooklands. He's going to hold off the Ferrari. There's not really anything between Brooklands and Luffield. Now, can the Ferrari get a decent gap? But that has left. Rick has lost quite a bit of momentum on Vernax, and that's nearly a second separating the Lamborghini and the BMW. Now coming down through the Old Starfield straight, heading into Cops. Not a great deal of braking going on there. Sounds a little bit too far back. Rick managed to keep that one on the track just about. It's very easy to push it that a little bit too hard, as we've already seen in this race. Now coming through Maggots once again. Keep the car steady. Don't want people doing too much opposite lock. Sal trying to get a decent float through Beckett's now into Chapel. He's had a good run. He's going to have a good run on Rick by the look of it. Rick's sticking to the racing line at the moment. He may choose to go towards the defensive line for Stowe. He didn't have to defend too hard. Now this is where Sal's lost out a little bit on that Lamborghini the last couple of laps. Can he keep that pressure on? He's much, much closer. He's going to have a look at the inside coming into Vale. And no, he chooses not to. Ooh! Rick didn't have a good run. Now Zal's going to go for an outside move. Coming through Club. Does he get it done? It's going to be brave if he can get it done. And it does look like Rick is behind him.
Here comes Tisby.
Oh, this could get a little bit ugly. And you actually saw Rick. He had to... He was a bit of a rock of a hard place there. He either had to bail or he had to try an inside manoeuvre. He probably made the wisest decision to bail and get on the racing line rather than compromise his corner entry into Abbey. Now Marbuensi putting the pressure on his Lamborghini brethren, now coming through onto Aintree and onto the Wellington straight once again. And pretty even run through there, but it does look like Marbuensi is going to get the slipstream of his fellow Lambo. There goes Rick, going for the defensive line at Brooklands, and that is going to compromise Rick's run through that particular corner. And Marbuensi is going to have a look at the inside of the left field. Oh, no, possibly not, but they've made Rick go wide. Now is going to be an opportunity for the black Lamborghini to get a decent run. Oh, that's close. But that's going to give Marbuensi an inside run on Woodcut and then into Cops. Still side by side. Rick's not letting that one go. Who is going to come out the victor this time? Marbuensi is going to get the position. Very nicely done by both drivers.
It's a battle to be the lead Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I like to say Lambo and Lambo action. It's nothing better. And Marbuensi with a very impressive overtake there. It was Rick really ran a little bit too wide at Luffield, and Buensi just stuck his nose a little bit up the inside, just forcing Rick to leave the space, and then from there it was just good driving to get past. And now it's formed into a little bit more silent queue once again. Tisney, of course, up to 7th now after his calamity at the start of the race, and we eyed up with Zal. And next, Vernox just pulled away a little bit as a result of all this battling behind. And ahead of them, Iceman and Murphy still relatively close, but Iceman not really under too much pressure from the Janessa at the moment. And of course, the top two looking very strong. It's actually only a second and a half from Popsu, but Jardier 5 seconds. I mean, he got it exactly as he wanted at the start. And for those who wanted Jardier to get challenged in the race, it was the opposite start to what we really wanted to see.
But, I mean, even the greats make mistakes, and looking at the last lap times, Popsu actually had a couple of tenths on Jardier, but he's got 5.6 seconds to gain to start to put pressure on Jardier. Well, then we'd end up with the same top two that we had in Kota, I believe, of Jardier and Popsu.
Yeah.
Yorkie is still under a lot of pressure by Leon. We've seen how quick Leon, the sick one, is in that yellow Ferrari, and with that Typek already ahead of him, is he going to go for the defensive line? You see Andrix there in the background. He's gained another couple of positions, and looking since last looking at him, Leon diving on the inside of Brooklands. What a move! He actually did a slight tap there, but nothing that's going to put either of them off. What a great move by Leon!
I think Yorkie was inviting him to make that move, to be honest, because he was holding a very, very undefensive line there and wasn't going too fast into the corner. So maybe Yorkie with a bit of, thinking that might as well not get held up by Leon because he is faster based on where he qualified. But you never know.
Only the drivers know. So it's still got quite a lot of packs of battling going on throughout the field, which is always great for us to see on board there with Yorkie as we come through. Maggots and Beckett's heading towards Chapel. Ahead of Leon is Typek, as previously mentioned. Now onto the hangar straight. Andrex is less than a second behind Yorkie, his former teammate from the previous season. Both of them sticking with the M6s. This is a scream of that scream of the Ferrari offset against the roar of the M6. That's such a glorious noise. Well, glorious noise is, if I'm entirely honest. But Leon is not wasting any time then. He's putting all his pressure now straight onto Typek. Now that he has gotten past Yorkie, either by force or by Yorkie allowing him, we won't know. He's looking to try and claw back some of this previously lost time. Oh no!
No! I'm amazing. I just found that completely randomly.
Yeah.
But there's Rigor with a bit of a mare.
Yeah, that's not the quickest way of going through that particular corner. We have actually lost another driver. We're down to 30. Unfortunately, I have no idea who it is we have lost from the running. Ahead of Raikkonen is MTZ in the Audi, I think it is. Yes, it is. So yeah, that's gone from worse to disastrous for Raikkonen, unfortunately. Mark Buensi in 8th position now, keeping the pressure on Tidney. And know how quick he is. The second place man from last week in the Red Bull Ring. So it's a lot of pace in that Audi, and Mark Buensi hasn't had the best start to this season, but wow, is he making a statement for himself here at Silverstone.
He's had an amazing race here, considering where he's been in the first 3 weeks. He's finished 20th, 25th and 18th, and now he's here up in 8th, fighting well inside the top 10. Incredible effort at the moment, and he's even challenging Tidney of 2nd place in the championship.
And there, just ahead, you saw, that's Zalm Vernax. You saw, don't go too deep on the exit of brackets. I think you got away with that. There you see, that is the M6 of Vernax, actually been overtaken by Zal. So Zal's going to have the inside line for, I forgot again, that's Stowe. So yeah, it didn't look like Vernax put up too much of a defence against the yellow Ferrari. There was Murphy and Fab Iceman actually just going through the shot. So they are making some progress at the top. The top 5 within the sort of 202 mark. Goodness me, Jardier getting a 202.1 in there with everyone else around the 202.8. So goodness me, there's Jardier just reminding people that he is the fastest man on track and in the lead for a reason.
And Murphy wasn't far off actually. It was only man was really close, 2 tenths off with a 0.3, which means of course that he is gaining an Iceman on that lap. Yeah,
as you can see right with him now, just half a second between the two, coming through Aintree, back onto the Wellington straight, and that is Popsu. That is just ahead of them. I thought he'd actually be further down the run, but come to think of it, He's actually had he was about 1.5 to 2 seconds ahead. So, you know, he's that's about where he's been for the last few laps. And look how much tighter Murphy was actually through Brooklands. He maintained a much tighter line through that particular corner. That is keeping his little Ginetta really in touch with the red Ferrari. Now they come through Woodlands, Woodcote, and mixing up Brooklands and Woodcote there. Keeping the pressure on, coming through Cops. Not much is going to be able to do there. Well, again, that didn't look like the Ginetta wanted to stick, but now just a couple of tenths away. And Iceman knows he's not going to make too much of a move. Well, you would think he's not going to make too much of a move into Maggots, but it keeps the pressure on, and you've got that element of distraction. You know there's a car in your rearview mirror. You know that it's the exit that's going to be much more important. But look at the defensive line that Iceman went for. Stuck straight to the left-hand side to make sure he's defending the racing line. Now he's going to go more towards the apex to try and defend against Murphy. That's going to be... how that wasn't impact, I do not know. That was so very close. Now, is Murphy going to have a look on the inside of Vale? He doesn't. He sticks to the racing line. That was well defended there by Iceman. But look at that. Iceman is parking that car exactly where he needs it to keep Murphy from getting the rhythm and the momentum he needs. This is going to be interesting, though. Murphy is not letting that go, staying within 2 tenths, now heading towards the inside, towards Abbey. I don't think he's thinking of a move. I think he's just trying to put Iceman off. Oh, he's lost a bit of momentum, though, through Abbey. Now coming through Farm. Heavy brakes inside the village. But we've seen Murphy reel the Ferrari back in again. The sun's now beginning to shine on Silverstone, or in parts at least. Now coming through the loop. He's going to try and stay close as they come through Aintree. He wants to stay close for that entrance into Brooklands. We've seen a few moves happen there, and that is what he's looking for, as Rick has got himself a penalty on the board.
And it's dropped another position, I think. Lost out in Estero, which is now well now to 10th place. And another one has lost out is Vernox in 7th. He's been overtaken by Tidney.
He has indeed. Battling going on up and down the field. Mark Buenzi in 6th. Oh no, big one. That was Mark Buenzi. That was Mark Buenzi.
That's an immediate commentator curse.
Yeah, just a bit. I was just thinking Mark Buenzi was in 6th. He's still in 8th, but yeah, he was really getting Vernox out of his rhythm somewhat. Yeah, Vernox is not having a good day here today. I think we've said that quite a few times, unfortunately. He's just not able to recapture the pace that he had in the previous season, but that is the nature of the beast. The BMW not quite suiting him as much as the... Oh, Murphy!
Murphy! Where are you going?
You've done it again. You've cut just in time. You have incredible foresight, Fizzy.
Oh my god, but it's not incredible for Murphy, because he's just lost him by himself, I think, and maybe got a bit too close to Iceman. But wow, he's actually not lost a position, but he's going to be right in front or behind Zal, because they're going to be side by side through Stowe. Zal on the inside, Murphy though, unless his tyres are shot, then he might be able to hang it on around the outside. We'll also now have the inside for the chicane, but if Zal can hold it around the outside here, he will get inside for the next one, but he goes a little bit too deep there, and Murphy hangs on. But yeah, Murphy, after putting so much pressure on Iceman, makes a mistake, and we've seen that quite a few times this season. Yeah,
that's a shame. But that's, I think you're right. I think he was just getting a little bit too close to the Ferrari through Maggots and Beckers. He either had the option to hit him or to bail, and he chose the safer option. He's just lost him a good 6 seconds on Fab Iceman. Then here's Vernox, still under all sorts of pressure by Mark Buenzi, who's got the inside line. He's shot past the M6. Vernox is falling through the field as they now come through the loop and onto entry. Mark Buenzi is having a great time. He's now got Tisney back in his sights again. Let's see if he's able to close the Audi down. Of course, Tisney is going to be looking at Zal, who's battling with Murphy, so we can expect this pack to potentially close up as well, as Vernox isn't letting that 7th position go either. He's just reminded the Lamborghini that he is still there.
Indeed. So Buenzi continuing his great race there. Vernox, for mysterious reasons, dropping a bit of pace all of a sudden in the last few laps. And Rick, what's happened to Rick? He's dropped down to 13 all of a sudden. I think he might slow down or a spin.
Yeah, we can see the his position marker is red, so he has earned himself a time penalty. I think he's lost a lot of positions very suddenly. So yeah, I think he's had either a spin or a half spin at some stage. Straight back onto Andrex's case, and Lambos do seem to have a fair amount of pace here compared to what we've seen him doing before. Jardier now getting the 201s on the board. So that's probably the last we'll see of him until the checker flag, unless, of course, he has a mistake.
Normally I would say that could well happen, but we haven't really seen a notable mistake from Jardier in 3 races and 25 minutes this season.
Absolutely.
So, surely at some point it will have to come, right?
You would think so. You would think so. Andrex then straight onto Yorkie's case once again. It's the red and white M6 looking to try and muscle his way into the top 10. Oh, sorry, into 11th rather, to then challenge the top 10. Yorkie hanging on to that. The tail looked like it's going to slide away from a little bit. You're going to get a bit of right-hand turn into that one. Oh, a left-hand turn into a right-hand corner. Never ideally what a driver wants to do, but if he keeps the car under control, then these must. Heading through farm and village again. It's always that kind of slight worrying moment where, of course, the guy you're chasing hits the braking zone before you, and you suddenly close in very, very quickly on the guy you're chasing. It's very easy to kind of think, okay, I know where my braking zone is. Yeah, if you look at the lap time, Rick lost 10 seconds nearly, 9 seconds with that 2:11 over the previous lap times he was setting. Here's Murphy still fending Zal off. Zal remaining within half a second of the Ginetta, heading down towards Cox once again. There's Boensi in the background as well, keeping Bernat at bay. All still to play for all the way through the field.
Yeah, got some solid insight in the chat there that BMW is a boat apparently to drive, so that might be why they're struggling a little bit around here. Obviously through these corners, especially Maggot's complex, is where you need some good downforce.
Look at the gap that Murphy managed to open up on Zal. It was about 4 tenths just in Maggotts and Beckett alone. You just saw out the top of the shot, that's Fam Iceman in the red Ferrari. He's now got 5 seconds behind and about 3 seconds, give or take, in front to just concentrate on hitting his own marks. And now this might be an opportunity then for Murphy just to concentrate on hitting his marks and getting away from that yellow Ferrari.
Indeed. But he seems to be getting his act together now. It's a really good lap time last time out, and it's looking like another solid one this time around as well. Let's see what Murphy will bounce back with here. It's a 2.3, so yeah. He's refound his pace here. Let's go a little bit further back. Let's see where I was looking for. But I think this is one of the closest battles anyway. The Yorkie Andrex Rick group here.
Boensi is, where's he? He's in the next Lambo up the road. He's got, what, 7 tenths, give or take, between himself and Tisney, so...
Yeah, to be fair, he's closed the gap down again.
He has. He's actually closed it down fairly quick. There is the M6 he was challenging, which was Vernat's, and that's 3 seconds now between the Lamborghini. Nearly did it again, saying Lamb and Lambo. That's 3 seconds he's managed to open between himself and the Season 8 champion. And he's right with Tisney, and Tisney's going to be well aware that Lamborghini has closed that gap down. You can't really say Tisney's been challenging the car ahead of him, which is Zal. That gap is, what's the gap between those two? About half a second, give or take, about 6 tenths again. So it's not like Tisney's is trying to concentrate on forward and aft. That pace that Boensi is showing is pretty damn impressive, and it looks like that is just natural pace. It's not a case of relying on the mistakes of others, although he's no doubt enjoying the benefits of his mistakes of others. It's absolutely great pace from Mr. Boensi today.
Absolutely. And we are getting very close to the halfway distance of the race, 32 minutes remaining, and as per usual, we're not really expecting any pit stops for tire changes, not really necessary. Obviously this game where the soft and the hard tires both last quite a long distance. The only really difference between them is how well they work in the temperatures, as far as I've been able to gather. So according to what Yorkie told me before the race, Jarvis did qualify on the soft tires when it was a little bit sooner in terms of time of day. But now in the race they should be on the hard tires, and they should easily be able to make the whole distance. So
is that Zal making a move on Murphy, I wonder? Because Murphy's lost a couple of seconds that time around with the 2:04.5. He's got himself a penalty on the board as well. So that's 4th and 5th in a battle, and 6th and 7th in a battle as well.
Quick look at something at 1 second. Not really too much to speak about at the moment. Same with Rick's penalty as well, just 1 second. And also Domino at the back, and Raigor as well, right at the bottom there, having 1 second each as well.
So yeah, that's just where they've gone slightly too wide, and they haven't let go enough. The game has warned them to slow down. They haven't quite slowed down enough, so the game has given them a 1 second penalty on top of the time they've lost. It is contestable, and the do it if they so feel like it. 1 second penalties they tend not to bother. It's the big old 30-second ones that they tend to put on. Murphy had a pretty good run in the last couple of corners, but again you can see Sal's got the straight line speed, but Murphy's got the cornering efficiency. It's not entirely surprising the difference between the Ferrari and the Ginetta, and there you see the Audi and the Lambo of Tidney and Buenzi as well. Look at that, within 2/10 of a second was Buenzi at the point they came into Maggots. We're probably seeing the same thing here where the Audi's got the greater cornering efficiency over the Lambo. This is where it looks like from Mark Buenzi's perspective. It always looks really narrow.
Yeah, it does.
So keeping an eye on where Tisney is going. He's gone straight with that defensive line. Mark Buenzi now having a look on the outside of Stowe once again. They are side by side now within a tenth of each other. Can Buenzi get the pace he needs? He has just managed to nose ahead of the Audi. He's now going to have the inside of the veil. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. I think Tidney kind of had to let that one go. The Lambo was too far alongside. Great move by then Mark Buenzi for 6th position. Can he close down that 2.5 seconds to Zal? Which is certainly possible while Zal is continuing to pressure. And we're actually seeing a 2:01 treble 9 by Murphy in the Ginetta. So there's pace out there to be found by something other than a Ferrari, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Ginetta no less, which is
yeah.
at least the previous seasons of games, a little bit surprising. But yeah, I continue to be really impressed by Mark Buenzi. He's found something special with, well, I don't know what he's done, whether it's just practiced more, or if it's just car suits the track, or if he's found a really good setup, or if he just enjoys Silverstone himself. Never mind!
Oh, goodness me.
At least Tidney avoided him.
Yeah, he concentrated too much on pushing towards the gap ahead of him. It's so easy to do.
That's my fault. I take full blame for that.
It's so easy to do. You've been battling for someone for a while. You get past them. You concentrate too much on closing the gap down to the next car, and you make a simple mistake, and you undo all of that good work. He's going to have to chase Tidney down. He's lost 2 seconds to the Audi. He's also got Nesterovic 1 second behind him. Everything like DRS or some such. Oh my goodness me! That Ferrari is Leon that's had to get out of the slipstream of Vernax, I think. There is Nesterovic. So that's just over half a second between himself and the M6 behind the Vernax, who's got barely more than a couple of tenths behind him to Leon. So it is still all going on. Look at the amount of cars we've got in fairly short succession. As we've seen Nesterovic go very far over to the right-hand side. Surprised he did that so early, because Vernax wasn't quite in an attacking position, but he felt the need to defend that racing line very early on. Unless, of course, the tail just twitched and he felt compelled to go that way anyway, which is, of course, possible. He's actually closed in to within the second of Buenzi. Saying that now under acceleration, Buenzi gets out of that second range. So Nesterovic, I think, is just beginning to stretch away from Vernax then, as Vernax is still concentrating on keeping Leon behind him.
Yes, indeed. And just looking at Mark Van Orman, Mr. Van Orman, I should say. He looks to have a damaged front of his Ferrari. He's qualified, of course, in 3rd. And then he dropped down quite early, but I didn't think he dropped that far down. No. Maybe I've just overlooked his progress there.
Well, his last time was a 2:04. He's definitely got damage, as you say, on that front left-hand side. So again, the actual visual damage to us tends to be far. Oh, I did wonder what Leon was going for there. The visual damage to us does look pretty, much less significant than it actually feels to the driver. So we've got no real indication of how bad, unless the car is completely mullered. like we saw, for instance, with Domino had no bonnet at Circuit of the Americas. Things like that are fairly obvious, but the small bumps to the bodywork aren't always particularly indicative of how much damage they're actually carrying. Leon is keeping that pressure. He wants to get further into the top 10 than that. So they now come to back at the Beckets once again. This is the view that Leon has had for quite a number of laps now. As you can see, there is Nesterowicz trying to break away from the M6, despite the fact that...
one sec, I'm just going to skip away that quickly because someone told me in the chat that Popsu had a drive-through, which...
be surprised as he hasn't been awarded a penalty, so...
it doesn't look like it, and it's not going to the pits. So I'm not sure where that came from.
No, I don't think...
I'm a little bit scared there, I'm not... How do you even get a drive-through?
I'm not sure you can, but the gap hasn't increased significantly to indicate he's been to the pit, so I don't think that information is quite correct. Again, a 2:01.6 from Jardier. Good God. You know, confirmation aliens do exist. Now, can Leon do anything with this M6 ahead of him? He's got the run out of Cops then. I did it again. Out of Club.
It's fine. They're pretty similar.
Is he going to have a look on the inside of Village? No, he chooses not to. Well defended there by Vernox. Let's go. Close in. That's one of those real clenching moments, and you're closing in much quicker than you anticipate to your opponent. Yeah. Leon actually went for a tighter apex on the Village. He was hoping to get on the gas earlier, but that was a good run through Aintree for Vernox. That's going to keep the Ferrari behind him again for now.
Very interesting. We've seen Leon take that very tight entry to Brooklands quite a few times actually. This time he was not making this make the overtake, but I think he got a little bit closer to Vernox. Can he keep the momentum though on the exit, coming towards Cops? Unfortunately, not really an overtaking spot. Just a fantastic corner to drive is Cops. More challenging in these compared to the F1 cars, of course. I would say because you actually have to lift and be more precise in the turn-in, and Leon did actually lose out a bit to Vernox through there.
Yeah, Tidney's had a pretty bad lap last time around as well, compared to these two as well, I think. Just looking at the lap times, 2:02, 2:02. Oh, that's all much of a muchness. Looking at it, there we go. There's Buensi. He's already back. He's back on Tidney's case again.
Incredible. That's incredible. He must have lost 3-4 seconds at least.
In that kind of region, yeah, and he's closed right back into Tisney. I think Tisney has either just been backing his pace off a little bit or just does not have the pace that Buensi has got. Because again, looking last time around, 2:02.4 for the Lamborghini and 2:03.1. So what's that, 7 tenths, or 6 tenths rather, between the two. So yeah, Buensi it's got a lot of pace to deploy. He just needs to keep it cool when he gets the move done.
He does indeed. Well, he's made a move on Disney before, so he can do it again. The challenge to resume for him is to then stay there. So let's quick look at Jardier. We haven't really looked much at him for obvious reasons once again. Yeah. But he is running along and he's continuing to bang in the 2:01s.
2:14, good God.
Yeah, 2:14. It's just unreal pace from Jardier at the moment. Obviously, he was helped at the start from the incident that happened behind him. I think even despite that, just based on the pace he's shown throughout the race, probably would have been in the same position anyway.
I mean, we're going to have to for maybe for one race towards the end of the season, just confine him to the back of the field and see how he goes.
Well, if he wrapped up the championship with a round or two to go, maybe he'll take that one himself. Yeah,
who knows? So Jardier with a lead of nearly 12 seconds heads on to the hangar straight. Here is Vernox again with Nesterowicz and Leon for company. So now that gap has slightly changed. Whoops, Leon's a little bit scruffy coming out of Cops. Now that's given Vernox a chance to close in on Nesterowicz. There you just saw Buensi and Tidney coming out of the shot as well. We'll get a chance to admire the fly collection on the front of Vernox's car. Now coming back onto the hangar straight. I think once again Nesterowicz goes straight for that defensive line, or straight to defending the racing line. Of course, Vernox following suit, trying to get as much slipstream as possible. Still, so many cars in such short succession. It's incredible to see.
Yeah. especially this stage of the race. We were nearly at 40 minutes of racing, and a lot of cars still close together here in the inside the top 10.
We've lost a few more. Just double check. We have 28 drivers still on track. Yeah. So unfortunately, we haven't seen who it is that we have lost track of. We haven't seen any race ending incidents at the moment.
It's always hard with that many drivers to figure out who's dropped, especially with someone who wasn't back that we haven't seen.
Where is our time bug affected driver at Alexis? Where currently is he?
Oh yeah, that's okay. He's just in front of Tapek, so he would be 16th at the moment.
Indeed. Oh, that's right. So yeah, he's fighting to keep Tapek behind him. So yeah, that will indeed be 16th position. So we haven't had a great deal of opportunity to look at how he's. Okay, that's Buensi.
Oh no, that's Buensi had some connection problems.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that is tragic. And we've lost him. That is absolutely tragic. He's had the best race of the season by a huge margin, and we have lost the lead Lamborghini.
That's
what a great shame.
Genuinely gonna make me sad for the rest of the month.
Not that you're biased to the Lambers at all. And here we go. These gaps have shuffled again. So Vernox has now fallen back into the clutches of Leon, and that has allowed Tisney to get a little bit of breathing space coming back through Mackers and Beckett once again. That has promoted everybody from 6th upwards a position, 6th downwards rather a position. So that's now going to put Yorkie into the top 10. I think Andrex is still on his. Oh no, Andrex is actually. There is Yorkie just coming into the top. There is Andrex, so he's lost a bit of time. He's got Van Orman for company just behind him, and that's Leon again thinking about an inside manoeuvre at Stowe. But obviously against Elwood, but he's gone for a much tighter apex to try and get alongside the M6. Now having a look at the inside of Vale. No, thinks better of that and goes back into the racing line once again. There's all that delicate balance of pushing and going for the move, but making it a safe way. You don't punt your opponent off the track and potentially earn a penalty.
Yeah, and also not lose too much time while hopefully making the move as well, because I think Leon is still seeing the Sterovich over there and maybe eyeing him up as well. Later stage of the race, that's at least what he might be thinking, and he's forcing Vernox to go defensive once again, and Vernox made a massive slide and a good save. And Leon also doing a good job to not hit him, going to go for a double catchback attempt here, getting a good exit there. Vernox forced to leave him room on that, a little kink, but that has lost Leon some momentum, having to lift off there just to make sure not understeer into Vernox on the exit. So Vernox still hanging on by the skin of his teeth, and the classic Leon line into Brooklands once again, but Vernox sees it coming.
Yeah, Leon actually backed out of there. I think he could have. Oh, he's going to try for an inside move at Luffield. He backed out of that one, I think, quite wisely. There just was not enough room to get the nose alongside the M6 through turn 7. I think Leon did back out a little bit more than he possibly needed to at Aintree, but he did take the safer route as to not go too wide and understeer straight into Vernox then and potentially cause a off-track incident. So, safer way to do it, but has of course lost in that momentum. He's now fallen to about half a second behind the M6, and again the tail twitching. You're seeing he's having to steer the wrong way into the corner to keep the car under control, and again look at the time that's lost, and that's easily 2/10 that he's lost on the M6. Is going to prevent him having another move coming into Stowe. And another lap later, and we'll see what he can do. I'm looking at Jardier's lap times and just like, good Lord.
He's getting into the
he's nearly getting into the qualifying place. And Murphy again getting a 2:01 on the board as well. They're the only two, I believe. Oh no, actually Van Orman, just looking at the he's managed to set a 2:01 well.
And he's battling Andrix all of a sudden. He's found his pace again, despite the damage.
Despite the damage, yeah. It's now he's got to do something against. We've seen how well the defensive driving of Andrix has proven in the past. So we'll see if he's able to deploy that pace where he needs it. Andrix last time around was a 2:03. Actually, they both were. Of course, Van Orman having to try and do something against Andrix to come herring into the village, and still not able to do anything about it. Now through pretty much identical lines through the loop. Van Orman trying to get an earlier apex in the M6. Now it's going to be an opportunity. in the slipstream. Andrex staying on the racing line, and there's the Ferrari. Surely then he's going to make a move on the inside, heading towards Brooklands. Oh, he didn't go for it. That's interesting.
He needed the Leon line.
Now, of course, he's been behind Andrex for quite a number of laps. He's got an idea of the lines that Andrex is choosing to do. He could have realised that that move was not going to stick. Here, of course, Van Olmen will know the damage that he is actually carrying, how significant that is. So he made a decision not to go for that particular line as I thought he would. Now going to come through Cops, but he's keeping that pressure on. Andrex is going to have to use all of his skill to keep that Ferrari behind him, I think.
Yes, indeed. Coming into the lovely Maggots Beckets at the moment. Let's see if Van Olmen's Ferrari has what it takes to get close enough to Andrex's BMW M6 onto one of the best overtaking locations on the circuit, of course, the long hanger straight, and is reasonably close. Depends on the straight line speed, though, of course, he's not really gaining at the moment. Slipstream doesn't seem to be affecting things too much, and he will have to continue to be patient. Just a quick question, just to sort of remind myself, when you are the broadcaster, you always see 16 cars on the...
Correct.
Just to clear up any confusion in the chat, that we do not actually have 16 drivers.
No.
There's still 27 cars running.
Yeah.
But it only shows 16 at the time for KK as the broadcaster.
Indeed it does, and we have a 2:09 time by Jardier on the board. So
wow,
just absolutely. I see now coming onto the back of the field. Then who's he coming up to? Is that Colonel McCoy?
Right, well,
it is indeed.
Good start.
He's now started to put laps on people.
Oh! Wernex behind Leon, right, 3 seconds ago.
Yeah.
He must have been active in the previous corner.
So, wow, that was a hell of a throw that Leon just threw that Ferrari into Brooklands. Yeah, he even opted to go onto the red and white on the outside to just get an extra bit of turn in for that. So Wernex then into 9th now. Yorkie a couple of seconds behind, so it's not under immediate danger. Can Leon do anything against Mysterious? There is the black Audi, just going through the shot. We'll see if Leon is able to close him down to already half a second separating the Ferrari and the BMW. It does seem like Leon now can just stretch his legs and get some distance, or get the distance he needs. I think he's certainly more concentrating on offense than defense at the moment.
Yeah. Leon's definitely looking ahead after making that move. He's got Tisney just under a second and a half ahead of him, and then sorry, Mysterious first, and then Tisney, I should say. Both in the same car, of course. Newly formed teammates. They they swapped their team situation around a little bit after the first couple of races. And a very strong team, you have to say. So they'll be looking in their mirrors and running very similar pace. Looked a little bit unsettling there for an service to the chicane, but he managed to keep nice control of it. And Zal, we haven't seen for a while. He's still running solidly in the top 5.
Yeah, Murphy is Murphy's gone. Murphy's at 7.5 seconds down the road from Zal. So there is the Ginetta. He's actually less than a second off of Iceman now. So that again shows the pace that little Ginetta has had. That's Popsu. That is further down the road. So Popsu has not been able to break free of Iceman by more than a couple of seconds. Well, barely more than 2.5 seconds all race long. We are nearly into the final 10 minutes. So it's just under 13 minutes remaining of this race. That's absolutely flown by.
Usually it does.
It usually does. Absolutely.
So and I think we might be in for another good battle quite shortly, because Murphy's pace is the second best on the track.
Yeah.
Iceman will definitely be looking in his mirrors, and Popsu as well. I mean, the gap between or Iceman and Popsu has been similar all race long.
Yeah.
But if Murphy can keep up his pace without making another mistake, and make a move on Iceman relatively efficiently, might be even in the running even for second place. But I think his first priority will just be to get onto the podium.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now coming through onto the hanger straight again. It's amazing to see how many people stays very, very tight from the apex of Chapel and get right onto that left-hand side, right as we're seeing it down the hanger straight. Well, generally people would just follow the natural rhythm of the car that would throw them to the right-hand side of the hangar straight after Chapel, and then just slowly come across. A lot of people sticking very, very hard to that left-hand side. It's certainly in these twisty bits where Murphy has had a stunning advantage over everybody else. Yet he's obviously got a great balance to be setting the sort of lap times that we have been seeing. As far as I've known, he's the only other driver to hit under 2:02, and Jardier has done it again. He's in the 2-minute point something. Absolutely unreal. Now less than half a second separates Murphy and Iceman, so that podium spot is definitely under threat. And Iceman's going to have to work pretty hard once again to keep that charging Ginetta behind him.
Ginetta is closing very solidly here. Another 3/10 the last lap, and he's soon within touching distance here. Pushing hard with 10 minutes of the race remaining, so he does have time, but not too much time. He wants to make this work. You can see he's clearly going for it. I mean, Murphy has been fighting for these kind of positions earlier in the season, but he's always thrown them away. I'm sad to say. He's 10th in the championship. His best finish is 8th. So either way, even if he doesn't make the move in Iceman area, it'll be in for a good race. But yeah, with the pace he's shown, probably second best on the track in terms of general pace. He would feel like he deserves a little bit more. And now, through Magus Beckett, can he get the run he needs?
Pops, who lost 6/10 actually from Fab Iceman, so he's either made a mistake or he's just backing his pace off a little bit. But again, as you mentioned earlier, Vizzy, the time is going to be weighing on drivers such as Murphy, who are in a potential position-winning battle. It's certainly going to be weighing on the defender as well, because they need to know how long to defend for. But you're now getting to the point where the drivers that are in the attacking position can't just wait for an opportunity. They now have to start thinking about creating those opportunities, piling the pressure on, or going for more risky manoeuvres that they wouldn't do when they had more time in their hands. And like I said before, hasn't always paid off for Murphy. He's seen him make a mistakes already. And again at 2:01 from Murphy, and 2:01 as well from Jardier, but that's almost become standard for him. It sounds a little bit disingenuous to not be surprised when Jardier does it, because that is blinding play. Oh, big twitch there from Iceman. But because Jardier is so commonly setting that blistering pace, it is just standard for him. It would be very surprising for him not to be setting that kind of pace.
Yeah. And now,
what?
Interesting. Yeah, Iceman starting to feel the pressure a little bit, maybe. Starting definitely to take notice of Murphy's presence, and is getting a lot in that braking zone as well. Yeah. He's right on his bumper now. I mean, he's been 3/10 a lap quicker the last two laps, so if he does that again, he'll be next to him. So, Murphy, though, it's not going to be easy to pass Iceman. I think Iceman will be very keen to hold on to the podium position, which would also be his first podium of the season. Both these guys would get their first podium of the season if they could win this battle.
Yep, as they come through Cops once again. That is what Murphy has been looking at for a few laps now. And Murphy will be all too aware of how close that little Ginetta is. Unfortunately, we've lost another driver from the race. We're down to 27 cars still running. Now back onto the hangar straight, and yet again you see Iceman go straight for that defensive line, keeping the racing line to himself. It just prevents Murphy throwing one on the outside of Stowe. He's having a look at the inside, not quite close enough to do that. But again, he's keeping his car very, very large in the Ferrari's mirrors. That's going to lose him a bit of momentum, though. He's lost a potential opportunity into Vale. And again, Ferrari can just maintain his line. Now coming through onto Club. And you see that. Just one little mistake from Murphy has cost him those valuable few tenths to be able to safely challenge for the position. 7.5 minutes remaining here at Silverstone.
Yeah, as for Murphy, of course, it is just one. Well, that's the case in most scenarios, I guess, in racing. It's one thing to catch someone. There's another thing to pass. And Murphy is feeling at the moment. His pace slowed down a little bit, of course, by being right at the back of Iceman now.
And I'm just looking through the lap times of what we can see on the top 16 here. Only a few. Everyone is just around a similar kind of place, generally in the 202s. We're seeing a few more 201s pop up. There's a text wheeler at the bottom of the list there with the 203. Here's Andrex in 11th position. He's got Mr. Van Ommen. He was actually behind Van Ommen a few laps ago. Oh, goodness me, that's 2 Desert Pack that is on Mr. Van Ommen's case. So this battle became a 3-way battle. Who was it Alexis was fighting? Oh, he was around here last time we saw him.
He was with Tapex somewhere.
Oh, he was, yes, well remembered.
Some damage, but there's no Tapex to be seen.
No, so we literally have no idea where he is. I'll tell you someone we have lost is our debutant Perry Gronstrup. He's gone. So, so sadly, we don't have the black and green Audi. It's a bit of a shame.
Well, Alexis is definitely ahead of Tapek, but I think he's behind Rick, so I think he is in 15th place still.
Position, yeah. There is.
Yeah, here it comes.
Alexis. So, yeah, he's very much on his own. Oh, Iceman's not, though! Wow, what a move on the inside of Stowe by the Ginetta. You kind of felt that this is coming, but can Iceman defend that intervale? It's going to have the inside line. We know how great that Ginetta is in the corners. What a move by Murphy, still having to hold on to it, just leaving enough
Iceman getting stuck on that curb.
Yeah. Oh, that was very firm but fair by Murphy there. He just, there wasn't any impact there, but my God, he didn't leave a great deal of room for the Ferrari. It was legal, but he's not afraid to get his elbows out when he needs to. So he's got 5 more minutes to hang on to that podium position. Murphy's got 3.5 seconds to close down to Popsy, who's now putting in the 201s. I think that's probably going to be a little bit out of his reach in the next 5 minutes, especially as Iceman is right there as well.
Yeah,
so
the best exit there.
Yes.
Murphy has been prone to mistakes so far this season, and there's another tiny one there that might put Iceman back on his case. Really having to defend here, and Iceman still looking up the inside despite a little space, and it's gotten a little bit wiggly there as well in the braking zone. That was optimistic to go for that little gap. He nearly got in there, but Murphy doing a good job to brake late enough to hold him off.
Yeah, that was going to go very horribly. That was going to the scene of the accident, as Martin Brenda would say. That was a very very risky move by the Ferrari. Oh, Andrex has lost 2 positions. Oh goodness me, he's had a bit of a howler somewhere. He's lost the position to Desert Pack and Mr. Van Ommen. It was probably one mistake that cost him both of those positions, as they're so close together and have been for a while. So can the red and white Audi do something against the yellow Ferrari ahead of him in the closing stage of the races for the tail end of the points? Points going down to 16th? 20th.
20th this season, actually. Slightly increase for the PC leagues. Still top 16 on the console leagues, but on PC, because of the bigger grids, of course, that you can have here, was decided to increase the points as well.
So still the Chartier is sticking in the 2-minute 0.8. That is Popsy you've just seen going through the shot. He did a 2:01.9 last time. Murphy is fending off Fab Iceman. Actually, Iceman lost a second to the Ginetta last time around. So we'll see what the lap times are this time. It's not going to be quite a second. So I think Fab Iceman has managed to close in a little. Actually, no. That's 2/10 in Murphy's favour that time. So it does look like the Genetic is able to pull away. There is Jardier. He's going to be putting a lap on Rigor, I assume. Yeah, it's going to be Rigor in 20. Well, it's actually going to be 25th position because Alexis is ahead of them, and he dutifully gets out of the way of the race leader and championship leader as he continues to press his way on through the lap. Magazine Beckett's just under 3 minutes to go, so he's going to be on. Yeah, he's not going to get to the flag before the next 30 seconds, I would have thought. So he's going to be starting his last lap next time around, I would have thought. That's 2 Desert Pack keeping the pressure on Mr. Van Ommen as they now come through onto the Wellington Straight. And Andres is right there waiting in case it all comes to tears for the Audi and the Ferrari. They're heading up to Brooklands once again. And we'll try and move onto the inside there. Oh, that Audi does look very, very loose. So he could be losing a bit of momentum there, but he's got the pace to hang on in there. All 3 of these cars are in the 2023 region. Andre's ever so slightly quicker than the pair ahead of him, so keeping him in this particular battle Coming through Cops once more. Potentially for the penultimate, well, will be for the penultimate time for these guys. They're not in immediate danger of getting lapped, I don't think, by our leader. No, because the leader's just gone past Rigel, hasn't he? So no, it's too far back from this particular battle to put a lap on them.
It's fewer lapped cars than usual. Obviously quite a long lap as well, but at least good to see that most of the field is staying on the lead lap. And actually, I noticed Nesterovic has gone past his teammates.
He has. He has. Well, the Tisney's made a mistake, or he's allowed his teammate through. I suspect it's the former rather than the latter, as Tisney is higher up in the championship. So they will be starting their final lap. They come over the line. Where is Jardier actually? He is. He can pretty much ignore top gear at this point. He's just come through left field. So I think Murphy and Fab Iceman are the closest battle we've got. Oh, they're right on top of one another. What's the... Oh, the gap looks closer than that on the timing board. So let's follow Jardier through then on his final lap as he is coming towards Mac of the Beckett once again. There is just over 30 seconds to go on the board. He need not push. He could pretty much... He could almost push his car over the and we've got someone in the pits actually.
It's just strolling through this corner.
Yeah. Someone's actually gone into the pits. Yeah, 17th. Who is that? It's Hardway. Hardway in the Audi has actually gone into the pits. What a disaster for him in the closing stage of the race then.
Run out of fuel maybe it's underfueled.
Yeah, could well be. Into Stowe for the final time. Here's at car 31. Down to Vale. He just has not 24 seconds. He leads the field by as he comes to complete this race. A perfect sweep yet again for your winner here in Silverstone. It is ACR Jardier in the... I thought you were going to throw it into the wall. ACR Jardier in the yellow Ferrari once again. A completely dominating race. Popsu is the closest man on track, although 24 seconds down from where Jardier finished.
Do you know what I just remembered? Murphy has a 1 second penalty.
Well spotted. And Iceman is within it.
He's just about a second behind.
Yeah,
Murphy needs to hurry to get to the line here if he wants to keep the Ginetta on the podium.
He's not going to do it.
Will he keep it? No, I don't think he's far enough ahead actually.
No,
I completely forgot about a penalty.
No, well spotted.
Murphy's dropped to 4th. Oh no. Ginetta will not be on the podium after all, Iceman. Because of that little 1 second worth of penalty.
He stopped
Murphy.
He stopped in disgust. Zal comes across the line in 5th position. There is Leon across the line, too quick to go through them all. There's Vernox in 9. Yorkie rounds out the top 10. Then the next one in line is actually Van Ommen. Oh, Andrix did actually jump up into 12th position. He just managed to get ahead of the Audi of Cheat Back. There is Rick in the Rainbow Lamborghini. Typek ends the next Ferrari in line in 15th position. There he is with the Porsche of Tex. We have not had an opportunity to look this far down the field, unfortunately, or for very fleeting moments. Here comes Typek to finish the race in 15th with Tex Wheeler in the Porsche shortly behind. Actually, no idea where Alexis went either, unfortunately. Poppleton, that's the first time I've actually said his name all race long. Oh, there's a crunch. Noah was that Z4 there. Nick Meadow in the Nissan with Steve. Steve had such a great run last week, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's Iceman and Optical.
Last week, yeah, on his debut of the season, and he hangs on. No, I don't think he will get a point actually. Oh no, he says he's 19th. Yeah, so he will get a point if Alexis. But
Alexis was ahead of them, I think. So that'll be 20th just for Steve, and that just goes to show how some tracks work well for some people. There's one of the Porsches having fun there, and why not? What a race. That has been absolutely incredible. That's flown by.
It really has. And I want to give a shout out to, it's been mentioned in the chat as well, Nesterovic. I believe he started around 15th or something. He ended up in 6th, didn't he? So one of the biggest movers in terms of positions. And a shout out as well to Mark Buenzi. We can't forget about him. He was having amazing pace in the Lamborghini. Unfortunately, got disconnected from 6th place. But here is the results.
So Jardier taking the win then, the only man to get under 2:01 as a lap time. So he wins by 28.8 seconds in the end over Popsu, Fab Iceman 3, Murphy 4, Zal 5, Nesterowitz 6, Tijni 7, Leon 8, Vernox 9, Yorkie 10, Mr. Van Orman 11, Andrex 12, 2 Dirtback 13, Rick 14. Around here somewhere was Alexis. Not 100% sure where because we didn't get a chance to look. Typek 15, Popperton 16, Noah 17, Nick Medio 18, Steve 19, Iceberg 20, of course, again, somewhere around there you have to -1. Oblator 21. That's Hardway after his very late pit stop, down to 22nd out of the points. Tex Reader 23, Mickersby 24. Really didn't see him all race long. Rygot 25. Colonel McCoy rounding out the field of finishers.
Yeah, and I think based on the last spot we had of Alexis, he was in 15th, so everyone from 15th and down should be one place further down on the list.
Let's see who we can find to talk to then. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk to us? We have Leon, Iceman, Jardier, and Tijni waiting to speak to us, so let's grab them over. Right then, gentlemen. Apologies to cut you off mid-conversation there. Thank you very much for making yourselves available to talk to us. First of all, I want to talk to Mr. Iceman. What a battle you were having with that flying Ginetta towards the end. How was that race for you?
That was one hell of a race for me. That was so interesting. I had such an intense battle with Murphy there, and I gotta say, great move by him. Like, really well done. That was super hard to defend. He was just faster than me. He was quicker, and yeah, I don't think I could have done much there.
Were you aware that he had a 1 second penalty, that you had to stay in front, stay within that second barrier to him, or was that a welcome surprise when you crossed the line?
No, actually, I knew it. I saw it. He had a 1 second penalty, but I said to myself, like, forget about that penalty. I want to stay in front of him, whatever happens. And yeah, then when he overtook me, I actually realized, oh yeah, there is still this 1 second penalty. So all I was focusing on staying close behind him.
Awesome stuff. Right, next man I want to talk to is Leon.
Yes, hello.
Hello to you. So I think it's fair to say that was a bit more of a struggle for you this week than your race last week. So how did the race go for you?
Well, it was really good because I was overtaking Tidney for second position in the first corner, and then I get punted in the back by Iceman. Mistake from him. No harm. I know he's a clean driver, but by that my race is over, and I have to fight my way through traffic, and everyone wanted to defend, and especially the BMWs. They're so fast, so it was really hard to fight back, and Vernox was really defending all the time. I didn't really understand why though, because we were close to Nesterowitz, and he knows I'm faster, so he's just holding us up both. Personally, I would waited for me to pass Nesterowitz and maybe pass him, so we both could slow down a lot. That's unfortunate because I believe me, Omen, and Jadir probably could have taken the 3 podium, but yeah, shit happens.
It happens indeed. Speaking of which, Nesterowitz, what a so after a not so great qualifying to come through well within the top 10. So how are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, it's hot, of course. It's in here.
I bet.
And the nerves are pretty high. But yeah, you're right about the qualification. I was pretty sad about it because I was doing what do you call it? In the qualification, I did 1.3 or something. 1.5, and I've done a what do you call it, 2:00.5 just 20 minutes before,
wow.
A couple of times, so I could have been P5. So that felt bad starting in the back.
Well, what a great recovery drive from you. And having to go through this quite quickly because we do have quite a few drivers in the combox with us. Tijni, speaking of the run of the Audis, you had it looked like you had quite a lot of work to do out there. How was that race for you?
I was actually first corner was a bit hectic because it was like 3 wide into the first corner. So just got a bit of damage there, and then I'm just trying to survive at that point. I had no front aero, literally 0. It was that damage.
Wow. Yeah, that must have been quite hard work for you at a track like Silverstone.
Oh yeah, I mean, I fancied when I saw the qualifying times, I fancied my chances a little bit because I did 1:59s like literally just before I joined, and then I got to the race and I knew I could do 2-minute ones, low 2-minute ones, and I just couldn't. After that damage, I just couldn't get anywhere near that, so I was just surviving and just hoping for the best. And then Nesto was coming in, I was like, okay, he's my teammate, I'll let him go, see if he can catch Sal, but just not enough time.
Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't quite see the pass, but so we wondered whether it was allowed through or whether there was a pass made. But,
he's a good teammate.
Absolutely, it's been great fun to watch. And finally, we of course have to speak to our race winner, Jardier. Once again, you were just completely untouchable. So first things, I have to ask a few things. Are you burning oil in your fuel? Are you running underweight? Yeah. No, it's a great race, Fee. I mean, you must have gotten bored out there once again, completely on your own.
No, I never get bored on these races, but actually I was really struggling in the qualifying, and at the start of the race I was really looking forward to the fight with Omen and Leon and Tijni as well. And when I seen in the mirror the turn 1 free wide going into the first corner and none of them came out of it, I was really I felt really sorry for the guys, because after first lap I had 3.5 second lead against Popsu, and I just knew that if I will not make any mistake, I will just improve the gap. And I felt really strong during the race, especially in the second half of the race. I was just pushing as hard as I could, and everything worked out. And I was really just sorry about my teammates who got out in a first corner.
And it's that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. So I did say that if you've wrapped up the championship before the end of the season, we might consign you to start last and see how you do.
I'm up for the challenge.
But we will see. We will see when we get to that point. We're going to wrap it up at this point. Thank you very much, of course, to our drivers for putting on an incredible show. It's great fun for us commentators to talk about. Thank you very much to those that have been with us in the stream live. It is a great honour and a pleasure to commentate for you guys. Thank you, Vizzy, for keeping me on the straight and narrow in the combos as always. A great pleasure, good sir.
Yes, likewise, and hope everyone will be back once again for Road America in a week's time. Yes. Where it all started in the AOR GT3 leagues, and we return there once again.
And then where my commentary journey for AOR began 2 years ago. That's which I'm sure I will reminisce about when we get there next week. So thank you very much to those still on the stream. It's a great pleasure, as mentioned. We will see you back here next time for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.